What if Anakin Skywalker was made a Jedi Master in Revenge of the Sith? Would the galaxy have been saved? Would Darth Vader have never been born? In this reimagined Star Wars tale, Anakin stands at the crossroads of destiny facing the darkness within, challenging the Jedi Council and rewriting the future of the Force. This is the story of what could have been if one choice had changed everything. Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One, and Revan, the legendary Jedi-turned-Sith-turned-Jedi, are pulled from different timelines and forced to battle on an ancient Sith battleground. Both warriors wield immense power in the Force, but their ideologies and combat styles clash in a duel that could reshape the galaxy. A mysterious ripple in the Force tore through the fabric of time and space. Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi Knight struggling with his own doubts and emotions, suddenly found himself standing in an ancient, dark chamber, unlike anything he had ever seen. He was no longer on the battlefields of the Clone Wars, but in a place heavy with dark energy. At the same time, far removed in both time and history, Revan, the legendary warrior who had walked the paths of both Jedi and Sith, was pulled from his own era by the same strange force. He awoke, confused but alert, in the very same ancient Sith temple. Neither Anakin nor Revan understood how or why they had been brought together, but the air between them crackled with tension. Two of the galaxy's greatest warriors, meeting unexpectedly in a place built for war and betrayal. Anakin's hand instinctively moved to his lightsaber, his blue blade humming to life. Revan, calm and collected, ignited his crimson blade, its glow casting eerie shadows on the stone walls. Each sensed the other's power immense, but different. Anakin's was raw, fiery, and driven by emotion and destiny. Revan's was seasoned, a perfect balance between the light and dark sides, forged through years of trial and change. Neither spoke at first. They measured each other with cautious eyes, knowing that this meeting could only end in conflict. The ancient temple seemed to pulse with dark energy, as if hungry for their fight. Neither wanted to back down. Both carried the weight of their pasts, Anakin with the fear of losing those he loved and the temptation of darkness, Revan with memories of betrayal and redemption. The Force around them whispered secrets, pushing them toward a confrontation. Without warning, Anakin charged, his blade swinging in a powerful arc. Revan met him with skillful precision, their clash echoing through the vast chamber. This was more than a duel. It was a collision of destinies, of light and dark, of two warriors who could change the fate of the galaxy if only one could prevail. Anakin and Revan faced each other in the dimly lit chamber, the air thick with tension. Anakin's grip tightened on his lightsaber hilt as he took a steady breath, trying to calm the storm inside him. His blue blade shimmered in the darkness, a symbol of his commitment to the Jedi Order, even though doubt gnawed at his heart. Revan stood opposite him, his crimson blade casting a red glow on the ancient stone walls. There was a calm confidence in Revan's eyes, forged from years of experience walking between the light and dark sides of the Force. Neither of them spoke at first. The silence was heavy, filled with unspoken questions and the weight of their destinies. Anakin broke the silence. "You fought for both the light and dark," he said, his voice steady but filled with curiosity. "Why did you turn away from the Sith? What did you find that they could not give you?" Revan's gaze softened for a moment, remembering the long path that had led him to redemption. "The Sith offered power, yes, but it came at a terrible cost," he replied quietly. "The dark side can consume you. It destroys everything good inside." Anakin frowned, struggling with the conflicting emotions inside him. "I want to protect those I love," he said. "But sometimes it feels like the only way to keep them safe is through strength, through power." Revan nodded, understanding more than Anakin realized. "That power can be a tool, but it can also be a prison," he said. "You must choose your path carefully, Anakin." Before Anakin could respond, the tension broke as Revan ignited his lightsaber fully. Anakin's own blade flared to life instantly. Without another word, they moved toward each other. The clash of blue and red blades echoed through the chamber. Each warrior tested the other's strength and resolve. Their fight, more than just skillet, was a battle of wills and beliefs. The duel had begun. Anakin's lightsaber swung through the air with fierce intensity, his every move fueled by a mixture of anger and determination. Revan, however, was calm and precise, parrying Anakin's strikes with skill born from countless battles. The sound of clashing lightsabers filled the ancient chamber, echoing off the stone walls. As they fought, Revan's voice broke through the noise, steady and firm. "Anakin, you're blinded by your emotions. The dark side is a path of destruction, not salvation." Anakin's eyes flashed with anger. "You don't understand. The Jedi Council has held me back for too long. They don't see the threats I face. I need power to save those I love." Revan shook his head slowly. "I once thought the same. I walked the dark path, consumed by hatred and revenge. But it only led me to lose everything I cared about." The duel continued, the two warriors matching each other blow for blow. Anakin's fighting style was aggressive and relentless, his strikes wild but powerful. Revan's style was measured and tactical, using every opening with deadly precision. Despite their differences, both fighters shared an undeniable connection to the Force, sensing each other's strengths and weaknesses. Suddenly, Revan used the Force to push Anakin back, creating distance between them. He looked at Anakin with a mixture of pity and warning. "You are still young, Anakin, but if you continue down this path, you will lose yourself. Your fear and anger will become your prison." Anakin clenched his jaw, breathing heavily. The words hit him harder than the Force push. He knew Revan was right, but his fear of loss made it difficult to listen. Before he could respond, Anakin charged again, his blade a blur of blue light. Revan met him head-on, ready for the next clash in their epic duel. The fight was far from over. Anakin's lightsaber clashed fiercely against Revan's as the duel intensified. Every strike and parry was filled with the raw energy of two powerful Force users pushing their limits. Anakin's fighting was driven by passion and anger. He moved with aggressive speed, trying to overpower Revan with sheer force. Revan, however, stayed calm and precise. He anticipated Anakin's moves, countering with skill honed from years of experience. The sound of their blades hitting echoed like thunder in the ancient chamber. Sweat dripped down Anakin's brow, but he refused to back down. He believed this fight was more than just a battle, it was a test of his destiny. Revan's crimson blade flashed as he blocked another furious strike. "Anakin," Revan said between blows, "your anger blinds you. It clouds your judgment and feeds the darkness inside. You must find balance or risk losing everything." Anakin's blue blade slashed with renewed fury. "I fight for those I love," he shouted. "If I don't become stronger, they will die." Revan's eyes softened, but his resolve remained firm. "You are chasing shadows of fear. True strength comes from control, not rage. I have been where you are, and I almost lost myself. But there is a better way." Their blades met again, sparks flying from the force of the clash. Both warriors pushed harder, the Force swirling around them. Anakin unleashed a powerful Force push, sending Revan staggering backward. But Revan recovered quickly and closed the distance. They circled each other, breaths heavy and hearts racing. Each knew this duel could shape the fate of the galaxy. The battle was not just physical, it was a struggle for the soul of a chosen one. Neither would give up easily. The fight continued, fierce and unyielding, as the ancient temple bore witness to the epic confrontation. The air around Anakin and Revan crackled with energy as their duel grew more intense. Each strike and block was accompanied by bursts of the Force, shaking the ancient temple walls. Anakin's power surged through him like a storm. His attacks became more furious, fueled by his desperation and pain. Revan met his fury with calculated precision, carefully countering each blow. Their lightsabers clashed again and again, sending sparks flying in every direction. Anakin unleashed a wave of Force lightning, a power he had only recently begun to master. The bolts crackled through the air, forcing Revan to leap back to avoid them. But Revan was quick to respond. He used the Force to create a barrier, absorbing the lightning with skill and focus. The battle was no longer just about lightsabers. It had become a powerful contest of Force mastery. Revan then struck back with a sudden Force shove, sending Anakin crashing against the temple pillars. Anakin shook his head, the pain igniting a deeper rage inside him. He forced himself up and charged again. Both warriors pushed their limits, drawing on every ounce of strength and skill they possessed. Anakin's raw power was incredible, but Revan's experience and control kept him one step ahead. They fought not only with their bodies, but with their minds and wills. The ancient temple seemed to pulse with the energy of their battle. As the duel continued, it became clear this was more than a simple fight. It was a battle of ideals, of light versus dark, passion versus control. Neither Anakin nor Revan could predict how it would end, but both knew their fates were forever tied together in this moment. The clash of their lightsabers was the sound of two legends colliding, and the galaxy would never be the same. Suddenly, the Force around them shifted in an unexpected way. Both Anakin and Revan were caught in a powerful vision. Anakin saw flashes of his future moments filled with pain, loss, and darkness. He saw himself falling into the shadow of Darth Vader, turning against everything he once believed in. The images shook him deeply. Revan, too, was shown a vision of his own past and future. He saw the path of destruction he had once walked as a Sith Lord, and the long road of redemption he had taken to reclaim his true self. The vision reminded him of the heavy price of power and the possibility of hope. As the visions faded, both warriors stood silently, each feeling the weight of what they had seen. Anakin's face was pale, his breath shaky. The future he glimpsed terrified him, but it also stirred a new resolve. Revan's eyes held a mix of sorrow and understanding. He knew that these visions were the Force's way of warning them, urging them to choose wisely. For a moment the duel paused, and both fighters looked at each other with a new awareness. The battle was no longer just about skill or strength. It was about fate and the choices that would shape not only their lives, but the galaxy itself. Anakin clenched his fists, struggling with the fear of what might come. He understood that the darkness waiting for him was real, but so was the chance to change his path. Revan nodded slowly. "You have the power to decide your future, Anakin. Don't let fear control you." The ancient temple seemed to hold its breath. The moment of reflection was brief, as the duel was far from over. But the visions had planted a seed of hope, fear, and the possibility of change. Both warriors prepared to continue their battle, knowing it would test more than their combat skill set would test their very souls. Anakin's heart pounded fiercely as the visions faded, but the fire inside him had shifted. No longer driven solely by fear or anger, a new determination took root. He glanced at Revan, whose calm and steady presence seemed to anchor the chaotic storm within him. The duel resumed, but something had changed. Anakin's strikes became more focused, less wild. He moved with a purpose that was both fierce and controlled. Revan sensed this change immediately. He adjusted his stance, preparing for a different kind of fight. No longer was this battle just about overpowering the other. It was about understanding, about proving their inner strength. As their lightsabers clashed again, the Force flowed strongly between them. Anakin's blue blade met Revan's crimson with equal force, each strike echoing their wills. Revan spoke softly between their strikes. "Your path is not set in stone, Anakin. You can choose to rise above your fears." Anakin's eyes met Revan's, and for a moment, the fire in them flickered into something new hope. "I want to believe that," Anakin said quietly, his voice filled with both doubt and desire. Revan nodded. "Then you must learn to let go of what binds you. Only then can you truly master the Force." Anakin's breathing steadied. He felt the dark temptation still lurking, but the vision had shown him another way, a chance to become a true Jedi Master. Their blades locked again, but this time, the duel was not just a contest of strength. It was a test of will, a battle to see who could control their own destiny. The ancient temple seemed to pulse with energy, alive with the power of two warriors fighting not just each other, but the forces within themselves. Each clash brought them closer to understanding. The fight continued, fierce yet purposeful, as the two legends battled for more than victory. They fought for their souls, their futures, and the fate of the galaxy itself. The battle between Anakin and Revan stretched on, their movements becoming faster and more precise with every passing moment. Anakin's mind was sharper now, his anger tempered by the glimpse of a better future. He felt the Force flowing through him with greater clarity, guiding his strikes and defenses. Revan's eyes gleamed with respect. He recognized the growth in Anakin, the strength that came from facing one's fears and choosing a different path. As their lightsabers clashed, Revan spoke again, his voice calm but firm. "You have the potential to become more than a weapon of destruction. You can be a beacon of hope." Anakin's breathing slowed as he absorbed Revan's words. For the first time in a long while, doubt began to fade. He could see a future where he protected those he loved without losing himself to darkness. Revan's blade moved swiftly, testing Anakin's defenses. But Anakin met each strike with confidence, his resolve hardening. The duel was no longer just about skill. It was about trust in himself, and in the path he was beginning to choose. Suddenly, Revan stepped back, lowering his lightsaber. "Your journey is just beginning, Anakin. Remember what you've learned today. The Force is not just power, it is balance." Anakin nodded, breathing heavily but feeling a calm settle within him. He lowered his blade as well, the fight coming to a peaceful end. Though their paths were different, both warriors had found something valuable in their clash. Anakin felt ready to face the challenges ahead, no longer driven by fear but by hope. The ancient chamber grew quiet again, the echoes of their battle fading into silence. But the impact of their duel would shape the future for Anakin, for the Jedi Order, and for the galaxy itself. The aftermath of their battle left both Anakin and Revan standing quietly in the dim light of the ancient temple. Anakin's chest rose and fell as he caught his breath, the adrenaline slowly fading. He looked at Revan with a newfound respect. Revan returned the gaze, his eyes reflecting a mixture of pride and hope. They both understood that their fight had been more than a duel of lightsabers. It was a confrontation of beliefs, of choices that would ripple across the galaxy. Anakin's thoughts drifted to the future. He felt the heavy weight of destiny pressing on his shoulders, but also a sense of clarity he had not known before. Revan stepped closer, lowering his blade as a gesture of peace. "You have the power to change, Anakin. But it will not be easy. The darkness will always try to pull you back." Anakin nodded slowly. "I know. But now I see that being a Jedi Master is about more than power. It's about control, discipline, and protecting those who cannot protect themselves." Revan smiled faintly. "That is the true path of the Jedi. And perhaps, with you as a master, the Order can find new strength." The temple around them seemed to glow softly, as if the Force itself acknowledged the moment. Anakin felt a spark of hope ignite inside him. For the first time, he believed he could avoid the darkness that once seemed inevitable. He looked forward to the challenges ahead with renewed determination. Revan turned to leave but paused. "Remember, Anakin, the greatest battle is always within. Stay true to yourself, and you will not fail." Anakin watched Revan's figure disappear into the shadows. Alone now, he felt the weight of responsibility, but also the promise of a better future. The galaxy was uncertain, but Anakin's choice to embrace the light as a Jedi Master was a beacon shining against the coming darkness. The galaxy outside the Jedi Temple was quiet, but inside, Anakin Skywalker felt the storm of emotions swirling within him. He had been made a Jedi Master, a title that brought great honor but also immense responsibility. For years, Anakin had struggled with the strict rules of the Jedi Order, but now he was given a chance to lead, to protect, and to change the course of his destiny. He knew the path ahead would be difficult. The Clone Wars raged on, and the shadow of the Sith lurked in every corner. Yet Anakin felt a new strength, a balance between his fiery passion and the calm discipline of a true Jedi Master. He trained harder, meditated longer, and sought the counsel of wise Jedi like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Yoda. Though his heart still battled fears of loss, Anakin learned to trust in the Force and in himself. He also began to see the flaws within the Jedi Council and hoped to bring change from within. Despite the peace he sought, danger was never far. Palpatine's influence grew darker and deeper, weaving a web of deceit that even the strongest Jedi could struggle to see through. Anakin's new rank made him a target, but also gave him a voice. He used his position to protect the innocent and stand against injustice. His bond with Padme Amidala grew stronger, yet he remained careful not to let attachment cloud his judgment. As a Jedi Master, Anakin felt the heavy burden of choice. Every decision could tip the balance of the Force. He knew that his destiny was not set in stone, that his actions would shape the future of the galaxy. Though fear and temptation still whispered in his ear, Anakin stood firm, ready to face whatever came next. The hope of a brighter future burned within him, stronger than ever before. He was no longer just the chosen one. He was a Jedi Master ready to lead, to fight, and to protect the light.